today I'm doing a kind of custom bag for someone. I think it's a really sweet idea actually, because basically this is a little felt bag that someone called Cait made with her grandma when she was younger, and she's recently rediscovered it and then thought that she'd like it kind of reworked into more something she can wear a bit more these days. I think that's a really sweet idea. It's a cute little cat. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Thanks for joining me. This is the kind of other fabric that we've gone for. It is actually a kind of purpley pinky mauvey kind of velvet. It's going to look grey in the camera, I bet, but it does have hues of pink and purple. I got this, my partner bought it back, he works in art college down the road. It's a bit of a shame really. You see there's quite a lot brand new and it goes in the bin. At first, I mean, I was horrified anyway. I was like, the bin? He said, oh, it goes to textile waste, and you know, I guess they make it into rags. It's like, okay. So I'm really happy to be making good use of this today as well. Let's have a look what we're gonna do. If I can hopefully get, because Cait has sent me a picture of the kind of shaped bag that she's wanting. Obviously, because I'm a dinosaur and I don't know what with technology. I'm using my phone at the moment to film this, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to show you that picture. And it's kind of like a slouchy, I'll find a way to show you. So it's kind of like a slouchy, roundish kind of bag along the kind of realms of this, and see that bit will be your cat in the middle. I did send a load of options including this, and then when she chose this I thought, oh gosh, that's actually really thick. So I'm hoping that's going to be okay. But quite nice anyway. So that's that for the lining. I've kind of just got to work out how I'm going to go about getting this. Obviously that's going to be one piece and the back will be the same, and then it's whether this piece, best option to be would be to have this piece on the fold. I think to get this curve here you would need to have a dart. Something that, okay, that looks ridiculous, but something along the lines of this for the side piece, because then we could face that out on the other side and that'd be nice and neat. Just going to be a bit of an issue with what to do with the strap, but I'm thinking I might try and come up with something. I'm going to use this old piece of fabric that was the back of a curtain to draw out a bit of a design, sew it together, mock it up and go from there. Okay, so I've just put that together. What I thought would have happened is it's gone quite slouchy in the middle. Now obviously it's quite hard to tell what's going to happen with the felt, so I'm going in a bit blind, although to be honest, that slouchiness is very in right now. But on the whole, I think in the picture it comes down a bit lower, so it's more at waist height, so a longer strap. I quite like the shape. I mean, obviously we're kind of dictated a bit the size with the length of this, unless we wanted to start adding things on the top, but I'm not sure as we do for a clean look. Something that I'm going to have to really think about now is the strap, because I don't want to seam up here. I want to face off, if that makes sense, like the inside of the strap. And it would be great to do that all in one and shove one through the other so you've got a really clean line. But with that velvet, it's not going to happen. The strap's too thin. You don't want a really thick strap, so I'm going to have to think on that a bit. But yeah, I'm thinking. But another thing is actually creating it so we have some kind of hardware here, which might solve the facing off issue, because I can poke one long end through, I reckon. And then we could also have it a bit adjustable at that point as well. So there's an idea. I have actually got this box of kind of all salvaged hardware bits and bobs, so might be something that we could find in there. A bit of a big ring that they both attach to. It wouldn't necessarily be adjustable though. I always think these look a bit piratey actually. But yeah, definitely something to think about there. We don't actually need to decide on that right now. We can do that later. Okay, so what am I doing now? I'm going to open this back up and use it to mark out my pattern, get all my lining and facing patterns off of this as well, and then start putting together, I think. I recently had to use this pattern paper to degrease a load of like these wax cottons that I got that were just so waxed They're from the college again. At first I thought, oh, it must be the students who've waxed them. I mean, no offence to them. They all had like labels from kind of Fabric World and stuff like that. So I don't know what's happened there, but honestly, they were so oily, and so I've hardly got any pattern paper now. Okay, I've got some rather odd looking pattern pieces now. Did have to use the kind of oily paper, but it doesn't feel oily. It's kind of just like tracing paper now. Lining, lining, facing, facing. So they'll be in the cord, sides, cord, front and back, cat. So cat, cord, 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 lining, lining. So I'm going to cut these out now. When I've been editing these YouTube videos, oh, the filming leaves a lot to be desired, it has to be said. And I am aware of that, like there keeps being bits where I'm meant to be showing you something and you can't see because I'm like holding it underneath the camera. I think they're getting better. No, there's always something. There's always some point when I'm editing it and I just think, crikey, this is not good. Is this the only two bits I need for lining then? I'll need a little pocket, I guess. Put a little pocket in it. I've hit a slight little bit of just something that I wasn't expecting really. These straps, when I've been taking the straps out, kind of put in a weird way where they were sewn on in a square and then a slit cut in the bag, and then they come out like that. So obviously I've got now 4 holes in the bag, which I did not anticipate. The only thing I could really think of, I have found a needle felting thing. Not that I'm kind of an expert at all, and it seems to have lost one of its needles. Because otherwise that's just such a small, I don't think we're going to be able to make the bag that was intended. So I'm thinking I need some kind of spongy thing, don't I, to put under there. What do you normally use, like a spongy thing? What can I use? Anyway, I'll look for something and then I'm going to try and merge this hole, I think. Hopefully that's going to work, but I've got a bit of an arduous task of unpicking all of these now as well. So unpicking loads of zigzagging. So that's 2 things. And then look for a sponge. I didn't really know what to use, but I'm going to try and use this felt that I found upstairs. I guess it's a good thing that I've got quite a thick lining for this bag actually, because these would probably be weaker. Pull that a bit on that side of the hole and do the same on that. Loosen it up a bit. So then we can try and merge all of these bits. Oh, okay. Ah, yow! Okay. Well, that's not going to work. Okay, well that has scuppered me well and truly. Okay, well, I'm going to order another needle felting thing, or possibly get one over the weekend, and I guess I'm gonna have to finish this one next week. It's a week later. After last week and me trying to do the needle pointing, suddenly remembered obviously that when you're doing needle felting you have underneath like an upturned brush. So obviously when I pretty much just jabbed the needle down on a hard piece of felt onto the table, obviously it snapped. So that was just a ridiculous move of mine, really. Anyway, I ordered a new, oh, that's my pattern bit. I ordered some more needles. I thought they were going to come with one of those things, which it hasn't. The only thing I can really think of is to put a ball of wool underneath there. I went to the shop to get one of these yesterday morning. It's got a haberdashery in it. When I first walked into the shop, because I hardly ever go into like shops selling new stuff, to be honest. There was just so much tosh, you know, when you're like, I can't believe how much tosh there is all over the shop. And then they've confined the haberdashery down to basically they had nothing, so I don't know what's going on there. But it's like little pots with little plastic plants in, like naff slippers and stuff. And you just know, you know, when you walk into one of them shops, you're like, this half of this at least shop's going to end up in the bin next year or after Christmas or whatever. Anyway, being a negative Nelly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull like the edges so they're kind of loosening up all the wool so that I can then kind of felt them and they'll hopefully join up to each other. Go slowly this time. Okay, this feels a bit more promising than before. What an absolute imbecile. An absolute imbecile. So I have done them and I've ironed on also, if you can see, just a patch of interface onto each bit where there was a hole. As you can see on this one, there's bits of the white have come through where I've felted it. So where I'm going to cut these corners off anyway, I've just ripped a bit of the felt off there and I'm going to pop that into there to try and cover that up a bit. Okay, so another hilarious snag that I have hit. It's like, clearly I didn't think after I drew up the pattern for everything to check that the main piece actually fitted on the felt, which not only does it not fit, it's like way off. Absolutely way off. That's something I'm going to have to rectify because I've obviously cut all of those bits out like an absolute nincompoop again. It's not my day. It was not my day, obviously, clearly, when I was doing this. Okay, I think that is now going to have to be the new piece, which seems ridiculous. Plus, it's kind of cut off those needle felted bits that I've just done, which is just, again, hilarious. Maybe we could use a bit more. To be honest, I'm probably going to have to do a whole new pattern now. And I'm going to see if these bits are still going to work. Okay, I'm going to have a little play and see what's the what. Okay, so I've just kind of redrawn out that pattern, which should fit on there now. I've widened it up a bit at the top, but the curve is still the same, so it should fit. I shouldn't need to recut any of these pieces. The only thing I'll need to do is take a little bit off the top because obviously for some reason I just did it really long before without checking anything. I'm going to lay the pattern and neaten that off. Hopefully it works. And then I'm going to sew these pieces together. I do wish me luck because things don't seem to be going as planned. What I will say though is, because I've had a week to kind of think about this, you know, I was kind of thinking, what am I going to do about the straps? I'm thinking I might do 2 long straps and just have them tie up. That might be quite nice actually. I might try something like that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to cut out this. It feels really weird cutting this out because something that someone else has made, I guess. Hopefully this is going to go well because, you know what I mean, I'm messing around with some nice thing that someone made with their grandma when they were a kid. It's all very nice and I'm just like having a mare of it. But I'm sure we can pull this back. Okay, I just had to, like, you know, just do a bit of sewing, if you know what I mean. And we're getting somewhere now. This is what I mean about having the straps kind of tie up. I think that's quite nice actually. And you can adjust it, kind of a sweet little thing. So I don't know how long to have these. Quite nice to have them long. Not doing any harm, are they? So I've literally just put the kind of the front and back to these 2 side bits. I think it's a bit smaller than it was intentionally, obviously, because of all the mishaps, but you know, that's kind of all right. So I've got these long bits. These are the facings. I'm going to pop a pocket, first of all, into my linings. Oh, yeah, because I might need to, I'm going to have to recut. Good job I thought of that. So yeah, I'm going to have to recut these to the new pattern. Then I'll put a pocket in there. So that to that. And then what we've got is we've got a facing. I'm a bit perplexed actually as to how I thought this was all going together. Do I need to Oh, okay, yeah. Because there's a facing that goes on top of that bit. I've lost my absolute marbles in mind, I have. Okay then, this is slightly embarrassing. Okay, so I've got my front and back lining piece. I've got the pocket in the back there. Probably actually a good thing that I'm having to shave it down because as you can see there's a bit of writing which I must have missed, although probably would have gone into the seam allowance anyway, but now it definitely will. I'm going to cut that out now to match that because all the measurements are a bit hairy now. I don't know whether I'm going to actually sew this bit on kind of halfway because there's a seam in that there and then leave it a bit loose just so that I can make sure I get the line of the facing like matching along there. at this point, because it's kind of like everything's changed so much, I can't really trust anything pattern wise, so I might do that. Hi, so it's actually been a few days since I was last recording. That was Thursday, it's now Tuesday, and I'm just finishing off the bag. Basically my phone decided to stop recording because I didn't have enough storage, yada yada. And then what happened, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have to finish the bag, you know, because I've already messaged this person, Cait, about the needle felting needle, having to wait for that. Anyway, still finishing the bag. It was one of those times, you know, when you're sewing and it's like every usual suspect. So I would be sewing and then my needle would break. Okay, fine, change that. Sewing for a couple more stitches, then my bobbin had run out. Okay, fine, change that. Then the top thread comes undone, you know. And then after a while of this happening, it was just like everything. And because I felt like everything had been such a thing, I realised it was Halloween. And then I was all like, oh, because of the cat, the black cat, and it's Halloween, like something spooky's going on here, and that's why everything's going wrong. You know, all of that kind of jazz. Now, I don't think that was the case. I think the case was the fact it was just that, you know, that phrase, what is it? Prepare to fail. Or fail to prepare. Yeah. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Anyway, it was definitely a case of that. Probably not the cursed cat. Anyway, yeah, so the bag actually, after all of that, I actually think is looking how it was meant to look. I've gone for these 2 long straps. I'll show you properly in a minute. So you can tie them up, and actually it makes it kind of be able to wear in a variety of styles. I just bagged the whole thing out and pushed these through, which was like not a faff at all really. So it's got the facing around there, lining in there. I was considering whether I machine around the whole thing, but I didn't want to machine over the felting because I thought it would look quite obvious. So I'm trying to stitch this in the most discreet way possible. I basically want it to look like this bit, which has been done on the machine here. So this is where the hole was that I pulled all the bag through. And I'm just doing a slip stitch. I've done it down to here. Now normally you would do it so you put it in there and then you catch that bit, but because I'm trying to do it really discreetly, I'm kind of doing it one bit at a time and going up here and catching a little bit of this. Like that, and just kind of not pulling it too tight as well. Because although I don't mind a bit of visible hand stitching sometimes, I kind of would prefer this not to be looking obvious at this point. I think, you know what, it's where it's such a simple shape and a simple design, and this actually, because of this, I think was where I kind of maybe didn't plan as much and check things as much as you would if you were doing something really complicated, because you kind of have that obviously undeserved confidence, I guess. So what I really like about this is that, so I've just tied it there, and then you can kind of wear it like that as a kind of handbaggy shoulder, or you can kind of tie it up there and wear it over like that, which I think quite suits the shape of the bag quite well actually. I do actually feel like this is what Cait was after. After all of that, it's kind of made its way into, I feel like, what she wanted actually, so that's good. I mean, I've not shown it to her yet, so could be wrong, but there's the back. And like you could even tie that into a sweet little bow if you so fancied. I feel like I'm going to absolutely cringe when I put the videos of me making this on my computer and try and make that into a video because it was a car crash. However, I'm happy with how the bags came out, and I was disappointed. I'm going to have to post this video whether it's rubbish or not, because I was disappointed that I didn't get to post a video last week, and then somebody commented on like a short that I'd put up on Friday, I think, saying, oh, just hopping on YouTube, see your video. I look forward to them all week, which was the sweetest thing in the whole wide world, but I was like, oh, I've not got one. So yeah, this is going up whether I like it or not. And thanks so much if you've persevered to this point. You're probably one of a very few, so you're amazing. Thank you for watching.